My name is Angela, and today I'm going to be sharing personal tips on stress management, time management, and anxiety management. So I'll share a bit more about myself in the next story, but grab a seat, grab a pen, invite a friend, invite your family members. Class is in session. My name is Angela, like I said. That's a shortened version of Angela Olua, and I'm a student of architecture. I'm also a visual artist. I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, and I'm a speaker. So that's me in a nutshell. Why has Mind and Body invited me then? Because I'm passionate about emotional and mental well-being. And personally, these are aspects of my life where I used to really struggle, and external situations would just throw me off balance. So I started actively looking for ways to improve those aspects of my life, and I'm starting to see changes. And these are the sorts of tips that I'll be sharing with us today. So you're not learning from someone who knows everything and has figured everything out. You are learning from someone who is in it and trying to figure it out. So I think it's going to be a unique perspective. Stay with me. A couple of questions have just come in, and I think the response that I have personally for quite a couple of them is prioritization. How can you prioritize the plans that you have for yourself? So I think before we can talk about prioritization, we need to talk about the difference between your vision, your goals, and your plans. I think learning that difference between these three things mattered to me because it really helped me understand then what I was dealing with and how to address the situation. So have a look at the questions on the screen. You might identify with some of them, but we'll talk about what the difference between these three are right now. Let's talk about the difference between your vision, your goals, and your plans. So your vision is a picture of a desirable future that you see for yourself. So you see it. It's a picture of where you want to be or where you see yourself in a certain amount of time. Your goals are specific, measurable targets. They're specific and they're measurable. They're the specific places that you want to get to or you need to get to achieve your vision or your dreams. While your plans are your strategy. How do you achieve these goals? How do you hit these goals to ensure that you eventually see this vision that you're talking about? So I'm going to explain a bit more about vision with an illustration, and we'll see that in the next story. Alright guys, let's talk about vision for a second here. Right now I'm zoomed into an image and that's all you can see. And this is trying to illustrate how you need to imagine your vision. Your vision, like I said, is a picture of a future that you have envisioned for yourself. It's your dream. It's a wide image. It's not to any detail. A vision is something that is supposed to be encompassing of all your ideas, all your plans, everything that is you. It is your character. Where and how and what you see yourself being in a general sense. So the wider your vision is per time, the clearer the image. The wider your vision is per time, the clearer the image. So bearing this idea of a bigger picture in mind, an example of a vision statement would be me saying, I want to be an amazing artist. I've not said how exactly I'm measuring amazing. I've not even said what kind of artist even or how I'm going to achieve that, but it's my dream or my vision to be an amazing artist. Hope that clarifies what vision is. Right, so let's clarify why we're talking about vision, goals, and plans. Let's take a look at some of the questions that came in so far. How do you manage your time in school and avoid burnout? How do you manage anxiety? How do you manage job application anxiety? How are you able to balance work, uni, and running a brand at the same time? How do you manage stressful people in your life? How do you manage academic stress and wanting to remain at the top? Genuinely, my first response to that is clarify your vision. Where do you see yourself and who do you see yourself as in your big picture? My big picture for myself is I see myself living lavish, living my best life, comfortable, enjoying, not wanting anything, not lacking things, and using my numerous resources, including joy and money, to impact the people around me. That's my big picture. So my question then is, if there's anything that you've asked about just now that is not aligning with your vision, why are you still doing it? Genuinely, like right now, that's how I operate. If there's anything that is genuinely giving me stress, that doesn't align with my future of enjoyment, and having the resources to enjoy, then I cut it off. That's why clarifying your vision is important. How then does knowing your vision or your goals or your plans help you to manage stress or anxiety or burnout or even your time? I think it's about prioritizing. When you have a big picture, it's something that is already difficult to even imagine or envision or dream, and then you have all these goals and plans and aspirations that make up this big picture. So sometimes you might feel pulled to one place over the other, or you might find that you have more time to spend on one side or the other, or you find you keep putting in a lot of effort in one side, but another side of your dreams and aspirations, you require someone to guide you or someone to encourage you. Maybe you need to prioritize better. What I'm talking about is being able to find harmony in all the things you're interested in, being able to find harmony in the big picture that you have envisioned for yourself, not balance. Right, so why do I speak of harmony and not balance? Well, balance is speaking of perfection, and I think that's just humanly unattainable. If you give 100% of yourself to just one thing, you would literally have 0% of yourself left to give to every other thing. Stick with me a bit. Now let's assume you go for balance, which is trying to give equal parts of yourself to everything. If you give 20% of yourself to each, to 5 things that you're trying to achieve, you would use up all of yourself, the 100%, and you would achieve a little bit in every single thing. But I don't think that you might feel fulfilled, and you will definitely be burned out because you're completely used up and you necessarily have not made marked progress. You make real progress by living in harmony. Achieve harmony by prioritizing your goals and your tasks and your aspirations. What does that mean? You literally do the things that you consider most important to your dreams and to your vision first, every day, every hour, every week, every month, before anything else. That is how you achieve harmony, and that is how you avoid burnout. That is how you avoid stress. That is how you avoid anxiety. That's how you avoid doubt and imposter syndrome. That's how I avoid a lot of those things for most of the time. And when I do fall into those things, that's how I bring myself back in check. Speaking of harmony, I'll show you what exactly I do to sort of keep my life in check and ensure that the things I'm doing are in line with the big picture that I've imagined for myself. So this is something my mom taught me. She calls it my 5 Alive, the curriculum of life. And yes, 5 Alive, if you're Nigerian, the trigger is 5 Alive juice. But it's really just a system that encompasses different categories of our lives and things we'd have to do with, and allows you to look at it and physically make a claim or a statement about what your priorities are in these different areas. There are 5 F's to remember: faith, flourish, finances, fitness, and family. So I'll take you through exactly how this helps me prioritize, but I'll just tell you a little bit about what each of these components mean so you understand what we're doing when we get into the exercise. Very briefly, these are what the 5 aspects of my 5 Alive represent. Finances refer to your freedom and flow of your time and money. Earlier we spoke about time being a currency, 24 hours, and how you invest your 24 hours determines what you get out of that sale. Faith represents your spirituality and your oneness with God. It's also your meditation and how you remain aligned with the things that you value internally. Flourish represents your personal growth and your business growth, also your career growth. So anything that is to do with being a better version of yourself. Family refers to your primary love relationships. It also refers to your career relationships, your friendships, and your business relationships. So it's anything that's to do with interacting with other people. And finally, fitness represents your physical, mental, emotional, and any other form of fitness that you can imagine. But it's really just talking about total well-being of you. So that's your 5 Alive signature system. Now this is something that's going to be personal to everyone. Not everyone's going to have the same diagram as me. But what I need you to do is draw a circle. This circle represents pretty much your fullness, everything about you. And draw 5 spokes or lines. from the center to the edge. It doesn't have to be equal. Remember, we're looking for harmony, not balance. The center of this circle or pie is going to represent 0, or it's going to be 0, and the end point of each line is going to be 10. So we're making a scale from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On each of these components, you're going to rate yourself. Where do you think you stand right now in terms of your level of fitness, mentally, physically, and emotionally? I mean, I would say maybe a 3. Where do you stand in terms of family, your primary relationships, your love relationships, your blood relationships, and your friends? And you just put a note of where you think you are right now. This is just to give you an idea of harmony versus balance. This is what balance looks like, and what everyone tries to tell you you can achieve. Putting your best into everything, and surely you will succeed. This is the reality of life. You have pressures, you have external situations, you have a lot that you're dealing with. You cannot achieve balance, you can achieve harmony though. So how do you get from where you are to where you really want to be? Now this is where your vision comes back into play. My fitness might be 3, but I actually feel like I could do with a 6. And when you're planning this, you're not planning it because of your wishful thinking. You're talking about what really matters to you. When I'm putting fitness as a 6, it means I know I'm having a little bit less time for all these other components. So I really need to say, maybe I can't do a 6, maybe I can go with a 5 for fitness. With my family and all my relationships, really, I don't have any more time during the day to take up any more calls. So we're leaving that as a 5. In terms of flourish, time management, stress management, anxiety management is still a big issue for me. So I need to put in more time investing in my personal growth and my business growth. So I'm going to increase that a bit into 8. It used to be at 3. Imagine. About faith, again, same thing. I put it wherever I think I want my faith to go to. And lastly, my finances. I think I have enough time to invest that. Now, there might be some growth or some visionary growth in some areas. Some areas might remain the same. Again, still all you achieve is harmony and never balance. Now, this shaded area here represents me trying to live life in harmony. It's not a perfect circle, and I'm okay with that. Right, so now that you know how to make a big picture for yourself, you know that you can then put specific goals towards that vision. For example, I said Angela wants to be an amazing artist. One of those goals to achieving that vision can be Angela needs to have completed 5 hours of training time in illustration. That's me measuring that goal. I might even say by the end of next week. That's another measurement of that goal. Now, what is my plan to achieve any of those? It is, I'm going to make sure that every day I spend at least 30 minutes working on illustrations. By then, I'd have accumulated my 5 hours by next week. Can you see how I've used my plan to achieve my goals to then work towards my bigger dream? That's just one goal out of all the numerous goals I have. How do I keep the rest of my goals in check? By keeping everything in harmony. If there's ever a time you're feeling burned out, or you're feeling anxious, or you're being stressed, think about what your priorities are. But I hope you've enjoyed staying with me today. I hope you've learned something today.